I tell this to all artists. You have to be able to hustle. If you're not a hustling artist, sign with a label. Because if you're not going to grind, this is not for you. Don't get owned. I'd rather for you to be owned and have some kind of success than be out here trying to do it and be dead broke.
Right,
so if you can get you an upfront, do what you got to do. This is specifically for the hustling artists who don't take no for an answer. What you can do is exactly what Will said. You can finance your own situation. Yes. And when you finance your own situation, you really have a big payday on the back end for way less.
Peace family, Will Roundtree here. We are getting ready to record another installment of the Full-Time CEO podcast. Look, I have an incredible guest today. Today we have Grammy Award winner Chad C-Note Roper. You definitely don't want to miss it. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that dope stuff. But more importantly, y'all already know the drill. I'll see y'all at the top. Let's go.
Chad C-Note Roper is a distinguished vocal producer renowned for his exceptional work in the music industry. With a keen ear for detail and a deep understanding of vocal dynamics, he has collaborated with numerous artists to elevate their performances to new heights. His contributions behind the scenes have left an indelible mark on contemporary music, making him a sought-after talent in the realm of vocal production.
Peace family, Will Roundtree here on another episode of the Full-Time CEO podcast, where we interview entrepreneurs, businessmen, businesswomen, moguls, athletes, and music legends. And today we got a legend in the building, but I'm sitting here with my co-host,
Mr. Aficionado, Curtis Blair in the building, man. Man, thanks for coming out for another episode of the Full-Time CEO podcast. We are here with Mr. Chad Roper. How you doing, Chad?
Man,
thanks for coming out today.
Man, it's all good. I appreciate y'all having me.
Man, this man hopped on a plane, was ready to get out here, man. It was a long journey, but it made it happen. And we made it happen on Mother's Day, too, so he better hop right back out of here.
Hey, listen, as soon as you say cut, I'm back on the flight.
Look, Milwaukee's in the building today.
Milwaukee's in the building.
Milwaukee is in the building.
Couple of Midwest in there because I ain't from Milwaukee.
Yeah, Midwest.
Midwest.
But today we highlight Milwaukee.
Okay, let's do it. My bad. Let's go.
Definitely, man. So I appreciate you, Chad, for coming out.
Man,
first of all, we got to mention Grammy Award winning Chad C-Note.
Couple nominations on top of that, man. Accolades out, man. Did all type of songs with all different types of
God
artists.
is good, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, he did. He worked hard at it, though. That's what you got to do. Stay diligent.
Absolutely.
Definitely, man. So, Chad, you're from Milwaukee. You've been in the music industry for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You done worked with some of everyone.
Yes.
How does someone from Milwaukee get started? Well, how did someone from Milwaukee get started in the music industry and have the type of career that you had?
All right, so I grew up as an athlete, a star athlete, and it taught me teamwork, which gave me the concept of partnership, cooperation. Instead of competition is good, but cooperation is better.
What sport were you in?
I played baseball.
Baseball. Okay, I started out playing baseball.
Yeah, I was a star baseball. I was player of the state of Wisconsin. I was like, big deal.
Yeah,
but it just taught me that if I could encourage the next person who may not have been just as talented as me, but work just as hard, we can win together as a team.
Definitely.
So that I kept that concept moving into the music industry. So I didn't have to be the star. So I came in working as me and Rico Love went to college together.
Okay. Oh wow.
So in college, what we would do is I'm older by
Let's let them know Rico's from Milwaukee.
Oh, Rico from Milwaukee for sure.
Okay.
100%.
I told you Milwaukee's in the building today, man.
For sure. So me and Rick went to FAMU together. And I had already been there when he got there. So
shout out to HBCU.
For sure. FAMU for sure. And there's a thing called the area called the set where everybody come congregate and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So we was on the set and they were like, yo, it's this dude named Rico from Milwaukee that rap. So I'm like, well, show me where he at. So I walk Rico over there getting it in, spitting. And at the time he reminded me of Jay-Z. I'm like,
wow.
Jay-Z from the mill? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I introduced myself to him like, man, if you ever need something, holla at me. I'm from the mill too. Mm-hmm. I'm an upperclassman, so whatever. So one time I hit him up. He's like, man, here go my information. Hit me up. So I called him because he was staying on campus. I was staying off campus.
Okay.
Well, Applebee's had happy hours on Fridays.
Right.
So we used to go kick it because
College
you could be 2 for 1 every night.
Exactly.
So I had Rick, we get ready to go to the happy hour. You come roll with us. Like, all right, cool. Come grab me. So I go pick him up because I had a car in the crib and stuff. I go snatching. We go to happy hour. And I just really treated him well as he wasn't who he is today.
Right.
He's from the mill, so I want to show Milltown love.
Yeah, just vibe.
So we hang out, we kick it. So then he like, I be going to Atlanta on the weekends to do songwriting. I'm like, I go to Atlanta on the weekends to kick it. So you can roll with me. He said he used to catch the Greyhound.
Oh wow.
But I would just drive.
He was on the hustle.
So he ride with me to Atlanta, and that's how I ended up knowing what he was doing with music. So this one weekend we went to producer's crib, and we just started working. And I was singing the hook, so he'd have a song, and I sing the hook, he would rap. So that's how we kind of got cool. Fast forward, I graduate. I'm thinking Reek's still in school. Rico writes a song for Usher, throwback album.
Wow.
Big. Not throwback. The album was called
Went My Way, was it?
No, it was the one Confessions.
Okay.
He wrote the song Throwback on Confessions. That's the album.
Right.
And that's sold like 20-something.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So
so that was his first record he wrote?
That was the first record he ever wrote as far as R&B. R&B record. So fast forward, my sister, I call her my sister, but it's a good friend of mine named Lachey Martin.
Okay.
She goes on Making the Band with Puff. Okay. So the whole city of Milwaukee seeing her because she make it to the very end.
Right.
So we have the V100, Reggie Brown, big station back home, wants to interview us when Shay gets kicked off the show to talk about her experience. So I'm like, cool. So we go, we cool with the whole radio situation. So we go holler at Reg, and we're talking on the phone. Reggie, like, I got somebody on the phone who want to talk to you. It was Rico. Rico hop in. So Rico like, man, what up, Shay? What up, C-Note? Whatever. So I'm like, man, how you been? Because I hadn't talked to him in like a year and a half. He like, man, I'm coming to Milwaukee, man. I want to write a song for Shay. We proud of what she got going on. And at this time, we knew he was on Usher album, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, man, let's link.
Yeah.
So obviously off air, we talked after that. He like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna be there next week. We can just get in. You got somewhere to record? I'm like, I got a whole house that's a studio. I had Big Sound Studios. It was a house. Me and my boy John Daniels had a crib. Okay. That we turned into a studio like Motown. So he come through, write a record. The record go do some big things, for the Midwest.
Right.
Like run up the charts. But I forgot to tell him that the record he wrote for us ended up being this big record. He just wrote the record and left. Well, we cut it. I vocal produced it, engineered everything, and we literally put the joint out. I'm like, I ain't finna waste this record. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So his man, his home, one of our mutual friends now, Mad Money L, come through with him and hear us, see the process. But then he hears a song on the radio. He called Reek, like, Reek, remember that song you wrote for Shay? It's on the radio. He's like, what? So he called me. I'm like, oh, I got it registered for you, Reek. I got everything. So you gonna make money off of it since you ain't charge us or whatever.
Exactly.
He's like, man, who vocal produced it? I'm like, me. He like, who engineered it? I'm like, me. He like, man, you can do all that? I'm like, yeah. He was like, man, what you got going on? Can you come to Atlanta? I'm like, yeah. But I'm a teacher. I'm a high school math teacher at the time.
Couldn't leave at the time.
So I couldn't leave right there. I was like, well, we don't get out of school till June 1st. This was like May, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right,
so we don't get out of school till June 1st. But what people didn't understand was while I was teaching, I was hustling at the same time. My hustle was I convinced the principal to let me have a candy store in the school where I had the pickles, all kinds of chips, everything. So I'm teaching, making $27,500 a year. That's my annual salary.
Oh, jeez.
I'm making $45,000 a year in the candy. So I'm teaching to sell candy to do the store. That's basically what it was. And all I had to do was take the whole school, which was number 200 students, on a field trip. So the student was, they used to call us brother and sister because it was a Christian academy. It was Brother Chad's annual semester trip. So every semester I would take them skating or whatever. Okay. It might cost me 2 G's, but I'm making 45 G's. So 2 G's ain't nothing.
On the candy and snacks.
You know what I'm saying? So I basically was profiting 40,000 out of the 45 because I was spending 5 bands taking the whole school on a field trip because it was a low income school. So
was you writing the trips off or anything else like that?
Nah, at this time I just was stacking it. I ain't had nothing to write off because I wasn't claiming the 40,000. It was a free 40. I had to write that off.
Hey, the statute of limitations up right now.
It was 20-some years ago. Okay. So it was a free 40. You know what I'm saying? So I'm basically, so what I'm doing is I'm stacking at 40 so that I can leave the city and move to Atlanta. So what I did was I stacked the paper so that I had a couple years of living expenses because I didn't know what the expense was going to be. But I figured if I had 100, I should be cool for a couple years. I didn't even need 100, but it had me feeling good where all the cars were paid for, all of the living expenses was paid for. So
let's dive into that a little bit because we both work with a lot of entrepreneurs. You work with artists and entrepreneurs, and one of the biggest reasons I'd say that why it's hard for new entrepreneurs to execute is because their personal living expenses are too high.
Exactly.
If you paying $4,000 for an apartment, your car notes is $1,500, your insurance $200-300, and then you're trying to live like you making X amount of dollars.
Right.
When it comes time to invest in your business or in your music career, you can't afford it.
Exactly.
So the fact that you had the foresight early in your journey to be like, you know what, I want to make sure my personal expenses is good, so I can move around. Can you just touch on that? Why that's so important, man?
Well, to me, it wasn't the business side. I look like a genius today, but it wasn't that. It was like this. When you are an artist, bro, or you're a writer or producer, the last thing you need is outside stress.
True.
And an outside stress is bills if you can't pay them.
So really common sense got you do that.
You can't be creative.
Right.
How am I write a record and I can't even think about what I'm going to eat tomorrow? So that was, and I'm married. I have a wife. So it's not like I'm
family
just
take care
me.
of. Yeah, it ain't just you.
So I got to figure out how can I keep her happy so she ain't stressing about going to work and this and that. And then how can I keep myself happy by doing what I want to do?
You didn't want to make the stress album?
Nah, it ain't, man. That's the last thing you need. So all I was doing was basically using common sense. Now, at this time, I had good credit. I had credit cards, but I wasn't using it how I use it today. I wasn't leveraging it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing about that at the time. But I knew if my living expenses is 5 G's for the month, because it was low. It was definitely like 35, between 35 and 5, and I got 100, I could run for a while. You know what I'm saying? So my goal was to make sure, and then what I did was we just paid for 2 years in advance. So 24 months, we could figure out how to make some more money. Yeah, everything paid for 24 months. So that was the goal. But literally, when we got there and we moved in and everything was situated, I instantly started making money. Which was just a blessing because I was set up for not stressing about it. None if I went in that thing stressing about it, I might not have had that situation occur. So that was my goal. And then once I got into once I moved to Atlanta, I never was home. I was in LA all the time, Miami all the time, working with Rico in a different thing because he realized what my skill set was. So then I would go, rewind it back to when I was still teaching, and I would spend the summers in Atlanta. So he would write the records, me and Shay would cut the demos. So then next thing you know, so when school year started back, I'll be in school teaching Monday through Friday. And then on Friday, I would leave school every week. I would find people that work at the airport and buy all their buddy passes at one time. So I had all the buddy passes. I have 40, 50 buddy passes, which would take me through the year. And then I just use them as leisure. So what I would do is, let's say if Will works for Midwest Express, because that was the airlines at the time before it changed over. So they would have slips. It wasn't electronic back then. So it would be slips. So if I'm going
low key finesse those,
right? No, ain't no low key. I was super finesse. So one slip is a one way. So if I say I'm need a ticket to Atlanta, Georgia, that's only a slip there and a slip back.
The layover.
But if I say I'm going to Albuquerque, New Mexico, I might have to go from Milwaukee to Atlanta, Atlanta to Phoenix, and Phoenix to Albuquerque.
You get the double, triple
that's
up.
4 slips or 3 slips for one trip. So I would buy the furthest amount of the most connections I can. So the price is the same.
You get 4 flights on one ticket.
On one ticket. So I spend $150.
I knew that
I get 4
for sure.
There and back. You know what I'm saying? So I would buy all. If dude has 6, that's 4 flights times. That's 24 flights.
Right.
So that's how I would finesse it. But if I'm buying everything at one time, y'all know, like I know, if you're buying 5 houses, you can get the price different than if you're buying one.
Oh yeah, you got
so the same concept applies. So I literally did that, and I would literally go every weekend. I would take my tie off, fly to Atlanta, do whatever I'm doing, be in the studio with Usher or whoever. Then Monday morning, catch the first flight out of Atlanta, back, and go straight from the airport to the school with the same outfit. But I had a drawer full of ties. Just change the tie.
Change the tie.
That's it. And that was my hustle, dog.
Man.
And I worked my way up. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk a little bit about what you actually did in music. Because I think people think that you have to be the rapper.
No.
You have to be the singer.
Right.
Like you did some engineering, you did sound. Like talk about some of the other things where it's like when I go and you remember I was looking at investing in a music catalog. What I learned about the music catalog, there's so many people that make so much money who you never know their name.
Exactly.
That is tied to a record. So can you talk about some of the people who may be tied to a record where you can still make great money? Because I think everybody think you have to be sometimes the artists make the least amount on the record.
Absolutely.
So you want to just touch on that a little bit?
So what I did was I was the vocal producer and the engineer. So basically I was the person, I remember our first session that I worked with Rico on a big scale was we worked with Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
So Jamie Foxx would be in the booth and I'll be recording. It was me, Rico, DJ Toon, Jamie Foxx. We were working.
Gotcha.
And so Jamie,
explain vocal production.
That's what I'm about to do.
Okay,
So
I'm sorry.
Vocal production is Jamie in there, and Rico writes. He wrote the song called "It's a Hell of a Life."
Mm-hmm.
So he'll give him the line, and then Rico will say, "Sing it like this." That's vocal producer.
Okay.
And I'll be like, "Rick, he flat. Let's get that second note again."
Yeah.
Or Rick, let's add this note. So instead of going ooh, let's go ooh. You know what I'm saying? So we're adding harmony arrangements. So that's what vocal production. You basically telling the person in the booth what to do.
Gotcha.
So because I was a vocal producer, that made me a producer as well because I'm producing the vocals.
Right.
So that's a engineering is a check. You get if you get a day rate, mine at the time was like $1,000 a day or something like that.
Right.
So you get a day rate, but then if you're a vocal producer, you get paid a vocal production fee, which mine at the time I think maybe was like $1,500, $2,500. You know what I'm saying? But then think about this: you working 10 days, that's 10 bands.
Yes.
Then you vocal produce 5 records, so you do 2,500 or 5. So you're making a nice amount of money. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got in it. But then what I would do is I would say, give me less money, give me some publishing. So the producer give me 5% and the writer give me 5%. So I'll get 10% on the record that I vocal produce. So I might, instead of getting 2,500, I might took 1,000 as a vocal producer. But if the record blow up, I get paid as long as everybody else get paid.
Yeah.
This is why you have to delay gratification, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so that was the key.
This is why.
Yeah, and when you go back to catalogs and publishing, catalogs, you can't sell a catalog without owning some publishing. So to me, I was trying to think, how could I make money? And really, Rico suggested it. Rico said, bro, what we should do is instead of having to get you a fee, we should make sure on the records you get placed, that you get publishing. And he said, I'll be willing to give up. And then whoever the producer is, they going to have to do it because I'm doing it. So it's basically him saying to me, this is a way for you to make long-term money, which he could have said they could just pay you. But to me, why not eat longer?
Exactly.
So that was basically it. Like it make sense to me. I'm already getting, because when we was working, bro, I remember we worked with Michelle from Destiny's Child. We worked with Michelle for like 20 days. So I'm already up.
Stacking up.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then as soon as before we could leave, another record company would extend our stay to work with another artist. Prima J was an artist, I remember. And these are artists who may not be big, but they still had budgets like they were big.
So the label would pay that fee.
They would pay the fee. I remember we worked with in 1 week we worked with Michelle from Destiny's Child. We stayed, we were getting ready to leave to go back to Atlanta to work, but they ended up booking us to stay. We was working on the Sex and the City soundtrack. So then we get in with Salam Remy, who's done everybody from the Fools. So we work with Salam. They got to pay me to work with Salam. Then they got to pay me to cut the same songs we work with Salam as demos to cut on Fergie. Then we had to fly. We cut Fergie. Then we left that the next morning on the red eye to go record with Sierra the next day, all to go on the same soundtrack.
Y'all hear the names he dropping?
Man.
So it's like,
we ain't talking about
Sierra
like we talking about some legends in the industry.
Yeah, but literally, so I was there for 20 days.
Right. Man.
Then we leave. We stay an extra 3 or 4 days to do work with Salam and Fergie. Then we leave to go to Atlanta to work with
some of the biggest
Sierra.
artists.
So now for 25, literally 30 days, I'm getting paid 30 days. Now, mind you, I got an invoice and wait to get paid, but
it's coming.
Right,
it's on the way. Yeah, it's on the way.
So to me, that was the thing. We were just like moving and grooving, hustling. And mind you, none of these sessions were because of me. I wasn't writing none of the songs. I was cutting vocals. I was engineering, but I was working with Rico. It was because he was on his way, like he was on that trajectory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you paying homage to your people, man. That's good, man.
Yeah, he literally put me in place to make revenue.
A lot of people don't do that. They
don't.
They don't have the humility to do that.
And the craziest part about it was working with him. He didn't care who got the shine. He cared that the song was good.
That's love.
So if I'm in it, if I'm cutting and what I'm doing is working, man, cut the record. I'm finna go get something to eat. Cut it. He didn't care who. He didn't care if it was the biggest artist or the smallest artist. If what I'm doing is setting the tone, he'd be like, cut it, and then he'd be like, we'll comp the lead vocals. So I'll get some good leads, and then me and him will sit in there and say, okay, let's take this word out of this one. Let's take this word out of this take. So we'll do that. He didn't care. He was just wanted to make sure the product was top notch.
Wow.
Sure.
So that's how you know when you're working in a situation where that's why it's my brother to this day.
Shout out to Rico.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because he literally just put me in position.
Milwaukee in the building.
Milwaukee's in the building.
But to me, but that goes back to the saying of collaboration over competition.
Sure.
We on a team. So if
we can go farther
as long as
together.
if I'm winning, he winning because it's really he the owner of the team. I'm just one of the players. You get what I'm saying? And to me, that's what it's about. A lot of times we don't want to be
LeBron in that thing trying to take all the credit.
No. Hey, listen, I don't mind shooting the corner three. I shoot the corner three, bro. Guess what? Because if I'm hitting enough, my check gonna be just as good too. He might make 200.
Yeah,
I'm cool with making 98.
What I say, James? What I say?
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody East beat.
Yeah. Right. So that's basically what the concept was. So that just carried over from college to now. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then maybe a couple years later, I started my own company, which is Big Sound Music, and that's when I started signing producers and writers and things of that nature. Right. And I got to see firsthand what he had to deal with as the owner of the team.
Right.
So that, and then we started doing. We did Rihanna, we did Backstreet, but we started going on a run doing different artists separately.
Correct.
But it was the fact of making sure that I learned what the system was and even help build a system and then applying it to something else. I always tell people, as long as you have a Chick-fil-A system, I don't care what it is, man. I don't care what city you go to. It could be 5,000 people in line at Chick-fil-A.
Right.
7 minutes, you're going to have your order and gone.
Right.
So if you can have that kind of system in whatever it is you do, it's about a system, consistency in the same process over and over, perfecting the process, seeing where the mistakes can be in the process, where the bottlenecks are, and just making those minor adjustments, bro. That's really what it's about.
Definitely. And one thing I definitely want to point out about you, Chad, is that regardless of the level of success you have, you always show people love.
Absolutely.
Anybody who you work with, and even how you and I connected, like once our friendship had manifested, you was like, bro, whatever you need. You come to Milwaukee, I got you. You want to do an event, my venue is your venue. Like, talk about how it's not a lot of that, not only just in music, but in business. But why has that been so important to you? Because you could easily be like, well, I got mine, I'm good.
Right. Well, the thing is this, to me, man, in order to get several streams of income, you can't do everything yourself.
Definitely.
So I know when somebody's stronger at something than I am. I know how I met Will. People think me and Will just got cool, but no. I hired Will. I spent money with him first. Yes. That's how we connected. It wasn't like he was just doing this and that. No, my man introduced me to you, who was credible, said that this is what he does with credit and this and this and that. I think at the time I might have had like a 700, but I was feeding for some of that 850. So I'm like, I ain't got bad credit. I was telling him like, bro, I ain't got bad credit, but I'm trying to get to these eights, because I know I could do some damage if I'm in these eights.
Sure.
So he like, I can get you there. It'll take me about 6 to 9 months, but I just said, man, I'm patient.
Yeah.
I said, so let's go. So he like, he was saying to me, because he knew what I did, well, this is what I'm going to do. I was like, no, sir, I don't want nothing for free. Tell me what you charge. I'm going to send you money right now because I know it's going to be
That's rare right there.
Literally,
rare.
He was trying to plug me, but I was like, no, sir. I want to do business with you because I want to see how you do business, because to see if we're going to further me spending this, whatever I spent at the time, and I want you to do it for me and my wife. So I'm paying twice.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, I know if you do this right business-wise, we're going to be cool for a long time. And he said it was going to take 6 to 9 months. It took 4 months, bro. It was literally 4 months. He was like, he screenshot. He said, man, do you mind if I post this on my, because he wasn't the big Will Roundtree y'all know right now back then. He done had his 200,000-300,000 followers. He go to a city, it'd be a line out the door. This wasn't who was sitting here right now at the time.
It's on the corner Will.
No, this on the come up Will. You know what I'm saying? But his knowledge was just as I would say this, he had the knowledge he got now, even though he has more. It seemed like he had it then.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Sure. But the thing was, what I liked about him was he was very direct. See, when I do business, I want to know what it is. I don't want you to sugarcoat it. I want to know what the numbers are going to be, how it's going to work.
Right.
Give me the worst case scenario.
Right.
So if it's a better situation, cool. So, and that's what he did. He said, man, worst case scenario, we can get you there in 9 months. I said, man, I don't care if it take 18, as long as we get there.
Right.
But the thing was, he did it in 4. I said, oh, no, he the truth.
Okay.
And he said to me, before I can do anything on my end, you got to do something on your end. So before you invest money into paying me, do both of us a favor first. Pay down your debt. Then come see me. And then let me see what I can do.
That's key.
I said, well, I pay off my debt tomorrow. So I said, where it need to be? He said it need to be under 10%. He said, people going to take you 25, 30. He said, do for you or you trying to go, get it under, I paid it down to 3. I said, it's down to my debt down to 3. Where can I send the other money to you to whatever? He said, oh, this about to be good. And literally we took off because it was minor things on my credit that would like hard inquiry. It was little stuff. Yeah. And he just nicked them away. And he was like, I got this all. I probably had like maybe to say 15 hard inquiries. I only was using really 5 of them. So why the other ones was just sitting there?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I only had open accounts on 5 of them. So of course they got to stay. So it was little things he was just doing. He was just showing me. He wasn't just doing it. He was explaining it as he was doing it. He said, so you see this? Look on this page. Look on this page. You see where this was at? This is what I took off. Now I need to grab these other 3. And when I grab these, you're going to see this kind of jump. Now I need you to go apply for this because what that's going to do is going to add more credit to your. Like he was just running it down to me. And I literally was writing it down and doing everything he said. Bro, I got this. Bro, I got that. I got this. I got that. And so we just ran it up. I ain't been down. This was, 15 years ago. I ain't been down since. I stay in the 8s. If I go below the 8s, it's because I'm working the move.
Right.
And I'll be back up in 2-3 months. Don't worry about it.
For sure.
So that's literally how it, you know what I'm saying? How we locked in. So just the fact of that, anytime we do, I said, we kept saying for years, we got to do something. We got to do something. It just wasn't the time. So then when I partnered with Radio Milwaukee to do what I do with Amplifier, I was like, we definitely doing financial literacy.
Yeah.
At first, they wanted their music focus. So what I did was I started implementing different businesses in the music because in order to be successful in music, you have to be successful in business because it's called the music business.
Yes, for sure.
The bigger part of it is business.
Yeah.
So I'm like, now that business is a part of it, we have to start implementing those who are in the business space. So I was like, Will, we need to do an event. I'm going to pay for it. All you got to do is come, bro. And literally, that's what we did. I was like, anytime you want to do something in the city, you let me know. We got somewhere to do it. We ain't got to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for no venue.
Right.
And we can sell it out. And that's what we did. Literally, when I had this event, it was 36 hours. The event was wrapped. It was literally 36 hours. Like we posted it. He's like, dog, when I post it, it's going to go crazy. So be ready. He's like, so put whatever your cap is on there. I'm thinking he jacked it. Literally, I posted that joint. I'm like, bro, if it, within an hour we got 175 people.
Yeah.
I had to call people, let them know they couldn't come because the list was too long.
Yeah.
It was crazy, bro. So
the Will family boy be out. They show up. They show up and show out.
And
for
what
sure.
was cold about it was we did it for free.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So when it was time for us to actually do do one where it was it did the same. It was no issue.
The pay one that we did with the infield training.
So now we just got to keep doing them, man. Just keep them going, just moving them around, and that's all, bro. I just feel like the more we can help each other shine, the more we can all be successful.
Amen.
And to me, that's a problem in our community, man. Is making sure that other people shine. For example, my brother DC, who came and grabbed me today, man, he was on the phone talking. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm thinking about getting into this space and talking. I said, Nick, bro, that's what I do.
Right. So
say less. You about to, me and Will got an event. You about to talk at our event, bro. That's going to be your first talking point. Why not? But then he said, man, Will want me to come to what's that? I said, well, go do his, get warmed up, and then come do mine. It don't matter who you do.
Right.
Let's just get the ball rolling because Tell him, and me and him very similar. We born the exact same day. I'm just 1 year older.
Right.
He just much bigger and stronger. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So I call him my big little brother.
For sure.
Because I don't want no problem. If I got a problem, I'm calling him. I'm calling my little brother. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we basically think the same. That's why we always stay so connected. We've been friends for 30 plus years.
Wow.
We only 15, but we've been friends 30 plus years. You know what I'm saying? But the goal was to make sure that if I got a platform and I know my family or friends or somebody that's around me can, first of all, they're good at it and they're knowledgeable at it, you're going to get better with the conversation.
100%.
But if you know what you're talking about, that's the hard part. Now it's learning how to flow. And to me, that's what it was about. So I'm like, man, when I'm doing it with Will, so you know it's going to be people there. They're going to be from all over the world. Yeah. We're going to have you on stage and I ain't going to throw you out there to the fishes. I'm gonna be up there with you, moderating. All you gotta do is do what you do. Just let me do what I do. I know you're gonna do what you do. So that's how it was, bro. That's literally how it is with me. I don't care who it is. If you somewhere and I'm somewhere, we gonna slide you in. That's how we go. Because if you his family, you automatically my family.
No doubt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is with me.
Yeah, and you don't meet a lot of people like that, man. And even and I'll just touch on this real quick and then we can move on. It was an event that was happening in Milwaukee, and you was like, yo, I'm only doing this if y'all gonna have Will on.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have
and
you.
You don't find a lot of that.
And they didn't have you, and guess what I didn't do?
You didn't do it.
The events. Because I can't vouch for somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah,
so you're not gonna have me up there vouching, and then next thing you know, they scam artists such, and then I'm in the picture with them. No, sir. I know he ain't scamming. Yeah. So I can be in the picture with him. So that was it. And they wanted to do it. And they did their event. They didn't have him. They didn't have me. Because I know I could put my name on what he's done. I couldn't put my name on the other individual. Not saying they weren't credible. Not saying I just couldn't.
You can't put your name on everybody's event, though. You'll never know what they're going to do on the back end. So it's totally key.
No, 100%. So let's pivot a little bit. You have your nonprofit as well, too. Yeah. And I know you deal a lot with the mental health side and just speaking on health because, they have this term health is wealth. But I think a lot of people still neglect their health while they're trying to build wealth.
Thanks.
And I can just remember a story when I went through a health scare where it was like, man, none of this shit mean nothing if you ain't healthy.
Facts.
So can you just talk about why that initiative is so important for you as well, too?
Yeah, so when I started my my company, Big Sound, I made a promise to God, man, if you allow me to feed my family doing this, I'll help people. How, I don't know. But I know I help people.
Right.
So one night, we worked with this artist, Pleasure P. He had a song called Boyfriend Number 2. We did it in Atlanta. And it was the only session I took my wife to. Because she always like, why y'all be out so late? Come to the studio. You couldn't find out. We got there at noon.
Gotta do that.
We got there at noon. We didn't leave till 6 the next morning. The record was finished.
She was ready to go, wasn't she?
Oh, what? She never been to the however long ago it's been, she ain't never been to the studio since, right? So, but what happened was after that session, it was me, Reek, my boys Earl and Eric, and then my wife was there and Pleasure and a couple of his people. We got done with the session. I went back home. When we got home, the TV was on. You know how they had the infomercials?
Right.
So it was this dude, Pastor Carney something, but he's be like, and God, like real hard, hollering. It's 3 to 4 in the morning.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So he was on there, and now mind you, back in the day, me and my partner Jermaine Wright, I used to laugh at this dude, like super laugh. So we get in the house, my wife go upstairs, and then I'm in the living room, and it's on. So I'm like, man, why is this on? But while he was talking, he was on the phone. He take phone calls talking about a prayer handkerchief, this and that. But he's talking to the person. And the person said, it was a woman said, I had this dream, such and such. He was like, sister, one thing about a dream, it never expires. God's not gonna give you. So I'm like, whoa, what did he just say? Did the man who we made fun of just drop a bar?
Yeah.
So I went back. Now this was prior to you could rewind the TV. This didn't exist where you could rewind back and forth. I kept saying, dream never expire, dream never expire. So I found my BlackBerry and I put dreams never expire in my BlackBerry. So I just kept it there. So I'm in LA and we were at this time I was going to different schools talking to young people. So whatever city me and Rico was in, I would just go talk to some young people. Say, yo, can y'all set me up to talk to some high school students?
Right.
So
you were spending part of your time while you was on the road mentoring.
Yeah,
that's
just giving knowledge. So we were in Florida, and the principal of the school said, "What is the name of your company or your nonprofit?" I said, "Dreams Never Expire."
Wow.
So that's how I didn't have nothing LLC, the EIN. I didn't have none of that. I just told her that.
That phrase moved you and stuck with you.
Yeah, it stuck with me from, and that was like 4 months prior.
Yeah.
So literally, I got Dreams Never Expire from him, the pastor we used to make fun of.
That's love.
And then I did the due diligence, got my attorney to do everything, making it 501c3. And then I just had it sitting because I didn't know what to do. I still was traveling, so I didn't have time to really do much besides talking. So then there was opportunity. They reached out to me in the city of Milwaukee where I helped them with a COVID initiative. And I was like, they were like, we got this X amount of dollars. And I was like, it's so much back and forth with this COVID stuff. I don't want to put my hands on that right now, even though y'all willing to pay me this money. Because if something go wrong, then my name gonna be on top of that. So I just can't, I don't know the details. They did Operation Warp Speed. They might be killing folks. So I didn't know what at the time I didn't know.
Yeah, you don't do no vaccine.
So I was like, I might have to pass on that. Y'all, once everything settled down, y'all holla at me.
Yeah, exactly.
So then they end up reaching back out to me to ask would I do a podcast speaking to doctors about health in the Black community. I said, now we cooking. Because now I ain't got to say do it or don't do it. You can do what I don't like to tell people what to do. I like
to right for it.
Yeah, so I started that. They gave me some bread to my nonprofit to do that. So I started doing that. And then they's like, you ever thought about doing events? I'm like, are there checks for doing events? They're like, we'll sponsor anything you do.
Wow.
I'm like, word? Okay. So yeah, we'll do some events. So we started doing the events. My first event I grabbed 15 of the top influential men in the city and I invited them, had some food, everything. We shot dialogue with a doctor from Chicago. He came in town, Dr. Hampton, and that was our first one. And it went so well on the internet. It was like, can we have some more of these? But what I wanted to do, I wanted it to grow. I didn't want it to be set in such a small. So it really went from 15 people to we would have 100, 250 people to come hear about mental health and health. So it literally started just like that. And I partnered with Aurora Healthcare at the time. And we did that, and we ran that for about 3 years straight. Wow! And it was just huge, man. And my goal was to get Black men in particular to take care of their health because I'm the opposite.
That's key.
If any little thing go wrong, I ain't got this good insurance for nothing.
Yeah,
you finna see me 20 times. I'm paying all this money. So to me, that was my goal. But I'm one of a million. Most cats won't. They have something wrong, they won't even
Go
look
to the
on
doctor.
Google to see what's wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So that was my goal, was to make sure I encourage men to, because if the men are the head of the household, then you, whatever you do, your wife or significant other will follow.
Mm-hmm.
So then I turned it from just men to family, because now I would get kids and everything. So it would make it a more, and you know, everybody know, like I know, your woman gonna encourage you to do something.
Right.
She gonna be like, I heard that cough. What we doing with this cough? You know, you ain't finna lay in the bed next to me with this cough.
Exactly.
You know, so to me, I like, if I can get the women involved, they'll encourage the men to continue. The men just got to make sure they follow through.
Right.
So that was basically my goal, and that's how it turned into what it turned into, man.
That's dope.
So
man.
yeah, man, that was it, man. It turned into something. We have annual days. We give away bike. We partner with Pastor Marlon Locke and his wife Kim Locke, and we will get, you know, do bikes and blood test screenings with glucose, blood pressure. We'll have mobile units come out.
Right.
The mobile units come out. And then, but we will have food. You know, we have wrestling. You know, we will have different events. So there'll be 1,500 people, 1,000 people coming out to these annual events.
Definitely.
And kids would get 100 bikes and go out to kids. And we would just do things like that to get the community. And we were in the 5320, the quote unquote bad zip code that they put out. We would go to that zip code and do work. Then we would give away 200, 300 meals for Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Not meals where we give you a plate. We will get the greens, the yams, the turkey.
They was getting
everything.
fat on that. It was getting fat
so
that
we were just giving them away.
Yeah.
You know, we spent 40, 50,000 just giving away the food, where you would take the food home and cook it, and that way you could still bond with your family. But it was just things we was doing, man. Just trying to give it. So we want to continue to do that every year. I'm gonna hit Willa for a couple thousand. You know, I know that's peanuts to him. He needs some write-offs. So I'm gonna hit full-time CEO up for a couple dollars. We're just gonna continue to do it, man. We just want to grow this thing, man, every year. And that's it. That's how it started, bro. And God been blessing us ever since, man.
No, man, that's what's up, man. And we don't see a lot of that, especially in the Black community, where we're, you know, cross-pollinating health talks and wealth and all of this stuff. And man, I just think that is dope, because Milwaukee doesn't get the light I personally think that it should get. And when you have people like the Chad C. Note Ropers in Milwaukee, we definitely got to make sure we do whatever we can to support those initiatives. So you definitely got our full support.
For sure, bro. For sure, man. I appreciate that, man.
Definitely. So let's switch gears a little bit here. Let's talk a little bit about the music industry, the state of where it's at. Why do you feel a lot of artists don't get to make it out of Milwaukee when it comes to music?
They won't leave. That's the problem. Like you got it. You can't represent where you're from if you where you're at. So in order to be a representative, you have to go somewhere that you're not comfortable, where you're not, where it's not considered home. I represent my family because I'm not in my house. I can't represent my family in my house. Everybody in my house got my name. So I'm not representing. So that's the thing. We got to go represent where we're from somewhere else. And that's the thing. A lot of people are scared to take risk. And to me, if you're not going to take a risk,
you're not going to make it.
No, I don't care who it is. And now, mind you, the young, you got like the young JP and Big Frank and the young girl Maya P. You got some young artists that's making moves and getting out and stretching out, going viral.
JP doing his thing.
He's doing his thing. And the thing is, what I like about the young man is he's 100% him.
1,000%.
He's not letting nothing outside, whatever. If it's him and he did it, he said, that's me. That's what I was.
If Unbothered was
a person, it would be that young brother. It would be that young brother. And I respect that. The thing is, and the man is not scared to take risks. He doesn't care about genres. He can really sing.
He can sing.
So it's like things like that I like to see about that. I got nothing to do with none of these youngsters that's coming out. I had my turn with the youngsters with like the Lakias and stuff like that. But I love to see it. And what I got respect, even with like Lakia, this young lady took the risk to leave the city. She moved to Atlanta. They asked me for some help. My goal was to try to help them as much. So when she recorded her Big Flexers and those type of songs, my godson recorded. My godson Jamie recorded those records because I knew he had the studio. I said, man, I'll just take care of the tab. Just let her work because she's in Atlanta trying to figure out, whatever. And it blossomed into something bigger than both of us expected, which was a blessing. But I can't say I discovered her. And you know how people want to take credit? No, I literally was there trying to help. And in me helping, it grew into something bigger.
So you spent time in Atlanta then, right? And so Atlanta is basically the Mecca to where you need to go. If you're in a city, I know guys from Indianapolis that have moved to Atlanta and everything else like that.
I moved to Atlanta in what year was that? 06.
Okay.
So I knew where it was at. I knew what it was. So I got all the connections. I had it, since back then. So it's basically like I'm not from there, but I know a lot of people that's from there.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
when she came to Atlanta, I was basically just pointing, go do this, go,
calling plays,
go work with this person. This person gonna take care of you. It's not gonna cost you a dime. These my people, whatever. And I just tab it on the back end. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. So, but the fact was, the young lady had the guts. Her partner had the guts to get out there by themselves.
Step out on faith, you got to.
Like that's to me, I respect that.
100%.
Not to mention she talented.
What about you, Kurt? Did you have to leave your city to get
100%? I mean, I started off in Indianapolis.
Right.
So when I went from Indianapolis, I basically moved to Chicago when I was 13 years old. My father passed away, and my mother sent me to live with my uncle. She was just like, I can't really help you grow in that capacity. So she didn't want to let her baby go, but at the same time, she let me move to Chicago.
Right.
Once I moved to Chicago, my uncle took me under his wing. That's when I started to really excel at basketball. At basketball, it took me to the next stage of playing overseas in Germany for 2 years. But after that, when I came back, I went back to Indianapolis after I came back from overseas. And it was just like, I'm looking around, but it's like, I can't really grow in Indianapolis.
Yep.
I moved back to Chicago, and in Chicago, from then at that point, I became a financial advisor. But my financial advisor, my athletic prowess, had basically wanted me to work with athletes. So I put my hand in the hat and say, hey, let's start working with athletes and doing financial advising for athletes. So I started moving around the country, and I just realized it's sitting in your own city keeps you stagnant. You cannot grow. You got to go out and expand your wing, like you said, and basically put your name out there. So if my name is known all over the country, which I don't like to highlight most of the time, but
go ahead and flex. Go ahead and flex.
So I don't like to highlight most of the time, but at the same time, like, you have to stretch your wing out to get that network and grow your foundation and your bases out there to be able to grow in business. Because if you don't, I mean, it's going to be in no stagnant. Coming out here to Vegas, and I used to see Will in the airport before I even moved out here. Like, I'm coming, he coming, he going. I'm at the Summer League marketing this. Hey, Will, what's up? We ended up connecting, and it started growing even from that standpoint. So, definitely getting out of the city, man, it helps you. And people got to step out on faith in that capacity.
That's a fact.
Man, when I first started doing what I'm doing professionally, I got zero support out here in Vegas. And I can remember one of my first live events when I was trying to really get in this space was my Cocktails and Credit, which I think I trademarked that in like 2015. And I can remember when I first started doing them, it was 4 people there. Me, the people who came with me, and the bartender who was serving the drinks. And I think Daniel came to like the 3rd one or something. But to your point, Chad, and I wanted you to highlight that for a reason, because it's almost impossible to be successful without any type of risk factor.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that risk factor is you have to be willing to go out and go in front of people who do not know you. Because I often tell people, if you're too close to proximity, they remember who you used to be.
Exactly.
They remember the knucklehead in high school. They remember the teacher selling candy. They remember the college dropout who had 15 jobs and who moved back in with his parents in the basement at 24.
Right.
That's who people remember.
Right.
But when you work on yourself and you polish and become who you are becoming, and you're in front of people who admire that, now they're attracted to the new Chad. They're attracted to the new Curtis. So you have to get out of your backyard.
And I always tell people, man, there's nothing wrong for being known for certain things. Like I explained, at one point in my career, I was known as the engineer and vocal producer. That was one box that I was in.
But you perfected that craft, though.
I perfected that craft. But then what I did was, I wasn't afraid to open new boxes. So I went from being the vocal producer and engineer to the producer. From the producer to the songwriter.
Right.
So now I got all those other things, adding those. But then I flipped the script and went on the executive side.
Definitely.
So it's don't never let people put you in specific boxes. They may know you for that box, but there's somebody who don't know you at all.
But that foundation,
opportunity.
But that foundation helps you. A lot of people, I got good at being a financial advisor. Then I started branching out and working with athletes and consulting athletes and being a business consultant act space. Then started working with Will. Then I became a credit specialist and started working in the real estate capacity. So like I said, people know me from my foundation.
Facts.
And once you get good at your foundation, then you can start to branch out of everything. Because sometimes people come to us and our consultant and say, hey man, I want to be a credit guru. I want to be I want to have a car fleet. I want to have 1,000 properties in real estate. And also I want to have trucks. You can be like, man, when you how you going, what you going to be good at,
Just
bro?
start with one.
Start with one. Just get good at one first.
Facts.
But I ain't gonna lie. For a while, I hated people calling me the credit guy.
Oh yeah.
I hated that because like when I first got into the credit space, people laughed at me back in like 2007. and you didn't see a lot of black people doing credit.
Facts.
And so once I started actually, helping people and it started growing and it became popular, I had one of the first viral videos on YouTube, how to get the perfect credit score. And then of course the pandemic comes in. Now, being a credit specialist, people talk about that proudly.
Nobody on Instagram and TikTok would be a credit specialist without
everybody. But even to your point, I started to see, and I tell people this all the time, I use the credit just to get people's attention.
Facts.
Because now we got to use the credit to help you get some capital so you can really go into what it is you want to go into.
Yeah.
And let's briefly touch on that, Chad. So I remember seeing an interview with the artist by the name of Russ.
I know Russ,
who talked about how he doesn't take money from the labels. What he did was he went and got a line of credit for $150,000, and he financed, his tour, his marketing, and all of that. And he was like, you know what? I can go get a billboard. I can pay for my merch up front. I can cover my tour dates. And I was like, man, that's what I've been trying to teach people for so long. Where it's like, okay, if we can go and get you a line of credit, let's just even say if it's $50,000, the debt servicing on that may be $750. Right. And so we just have to reverse engineer. You like that, engineer? And figure out what service that you offer. How many of those times do you have to perform that service or sell that product to get that $750 back? Can you touch on, because when artists get that budget from the label, they sometimes don't realize you got to recoup that. And it's a high interest payday loan.
Absolutely.
And talking about how leveraging credit could help more artists and even just your journey in understanding leveraging credit and how you've been able to invest not only in your businesses, but to real estate and all of those different avenues.
Yeah. So what artists don't understand, I tell this to all artists, you have to be able to hustle. If you're not a hustling artist, sign with a label.
Yeah.
Because if you're not gonna grind, this is not for you.
Because they're gonna go do everything for you.
You gotta
recoup it on. They're gonna recoup it on.
But then they own you. They own you.
Don't get owned, because I'd rather for you to be owned and have some kind of success than be out here trying to do it and be dead broke.
Right,
so if you can get you upfront, do what you got to do. But this is specifically for the hustling artists, the artists who don't take no for an answer.
Right.
What you can do is exactly what Will said. You can finance your own situation. Yes. And when you finance your own situation, you really have a big payday on the back end for way less. And that's the thing we don't understand.
Yes.
For what it takes for somebody to sell 2 or 3 million, you could do it with 100,000 to make way more than they did. And you own everything.
Yeah. All your
and that's the key. But the problem is a lot of artists don't have that marketing mind, or somebody on a team with that marketing mind, or don't have the work ethic and consistency, because it's going to take both of those together to be successful.
Right.
And
that's what not a lot of people mentoring in that space as well, though, because they're trying to get them to get signed on that contract to be a part of their label, and so they can recoup all the money, right?
But the crazy part is this: even if they were, most artists don't want to listen. They think they know everything.
It's kind of like athletes.
So
too,
like artists, man, when you working with artists, man, and I'm speaking from personal experience. You a genius to somebody else come around you that got more money than you.
Yeah.
Then they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Until they start getting money, even though they don't have much money as you or that other person. Now neither one of y'all know what y'all talking about. I've experienced that personally.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Blind leading the blind.
Yeah. So like literally, if you're an artist who know everything, then do what you do. Don't listen to this. Turn this off right now. But if you're an artist who's trying to learn something, understand that when it comes to your masters only mean something if it's making money.
Right.
So if you're trying to own your masters, but it's not making money, you're owning nothing. But if there's a situation where you can partner with somebody on your masters and they know how to make you move, how to elevate you, then it makes sense to do the deal.
Right.
So the only deals to me that makes sense is if both parties are investing in it the same amount. So if Will is the record label and I'm the artist and he has 2 million and I have 0, but I have the work ethic, it makes sense for me to do a 50-50 partnership with him because he has the revenue, but I have the actual product. So now, even if we sell it for 200 million and he get 100, he deserves it because he was willing to invest into my sweat equity. So that makes sense. But now, if I have my own money, but Will has the knowledge, maybe I don't give him 50. Maybe I give him a 10.
Yeah.
Because now he gonna take the money that I have, even though I'm the artist, and He can walk me.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So now, me, if I make 100 million, all I owe him is 10. Well, I only started off with 5. So now I still won.
Mm-hmm.
He won too.
Yeah.
So you gotta weigh the options. And then I always tell artists this: you don't get what you deserve. You don't get what you earn.
Mm-hmm.
You get what you negotiate. So at the end of the day, it's about the negotiation process.
Right.
I break it down into these things. You have for an artist, your artist as your brand, you have a CEO, which is the person who runs everything, your chief executive officer.
Yeah.
He or she runs the logistics for you, right? So that's normally your manager.
Mm-hmm.
So you should have a great person who's running as a manager, who's connected, who's very responsive, who's on time, who's basically like a drill sergeant. You need that kind of person because they're gonna be that way about your money.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically the operating officer as well at the same time.
Same they play both roles.
Exactly.
But then you're gonna also need a chief decision officer. That's normally your attorney because they know what the appropriate decisions to make legally to cover you. So if you ain't got a good manager and you ain't got a good attorney, you losing right away.
Wow.
Then you got to have a CFO, a chief financial officer,
make sure that
somebody who know where that money's going in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got those 3 people and they're strong on your team,
your A team.
that's it.
That's your A team.
With the artist Lakia that I worked with, every year that we worked together, her income easily doubled.
Mm.
From year 1 to year 2 to year 3, it easily doubled. It did more than double, but it easily doubled.
Okay.
But that's because I knew how to get to the paper though.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Y'all be on the lookout for Chad's master class, his course, how to get you publishing some money, how to become an artist that's gonna make some money.
Because your manager has to get you deals you don't deserve.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you're an artist, you go on promo tours. When you go on a promo tour, either
and
you or
they gotta pay for that.
That's what I was
artists
about to say.
don't know that.
The artist, you have to pay to be on that, or your label pays to be on that, which means that money's recoupable.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the catch. If you have a good manager, you'll get paid for things that don't even matter. For example, at the time when Lakia was going on tour, I think it was like Tootsie or somebody like that, the label had to pay for her to get on that tour. That's normally how tours work, right? But she made money on that tour. You want to know why?
Why?
Because YouTube, we did a deal with YouTube to get behind the scenes of the tour.
Right.
So you ain't going on a tour not making no money.
Right.
Whether we do one party or not, you up X amount of dollars just before you even leave the house.
Man, that masterclass.
So that you as your manager.
Hey, say some of this, Chad. We selling this.
You trying to die right here.
That's
We're gonna put that on OnlyFans too, though. I'm gonna get an OnlyFans account.
But see, the thing about it is, people think the only way to make money on tour is to do after parties. That's one way.
Right.
But if you can partner with a company,
they want the content.
They was literally paying this young lady to get behind the scenes on the bus or sound check, blah, blah, blah. She was getting paid a nice amount of money to post X amount of times.
Wow.
I'm gonna do a day in the life, y'all. I'm gonna do a day in the life of Kurt on YouTube.
That's how you do it. Like, think about it like that. So now before you step on tour, you getting the check. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that check, with me, that check all up front. So you get every dime before we even start. You the star, so they got to trust us. We ain't got to trust them. Not saying they ain't got the money. YouTube got plenty of money, but my thing is, you see what I'm saying? So that way, now all I got to do is make sure we deliver on what I said we was going to deliver on, which I deliver. So if the deal was for 15 posts, I told her we needed 30. So now we deliver.
Over deliver.
Sure.
See what I'm saying? I'm like, man, we got to do 30 posts. Really only had to do 15.
Right.
But what I'm doing is showing them love for believing in us in the beginning.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She didn't care. It take her 2 seconds to post. She didn't care how many posts it was.
Yeah.
She got a nice check. So
and it's something you're going to do anyway.
So that was when YouTube Shorts first started.
Right.
So it's ways to do things, but you got to figure out, because we were signed to a label, we got to figure out ways to recoup as well. So that was like, obviously when you do deals with labels, you have an ancillary and you have to pay some of your fees to them. So when you get, to me, that was me saying to the label, listen, y'all believed in us because P is a hell of a businessman. And that brother, when I tell you, it was amazing to work with that man, because that brother, anything he said he was going to do, he
let
did
them know
more.
which P you talking about.
P from Quality Control, P and Coach.
Yeah, I want to make sure the people.
When me and P were negotiating for the, to put the key on to get the key on QC, the man literally said this to me. He said, "Bruh, these other labels are gonna give you a budget. If I believe in something, I'm gonna go to it work." He said, "So you ain't got to worry about me when it comes to us getting it to work, we're gonna make it work.
That's why you got so many
as
artists.
a team.
Yeah.
Now, people will tell you that.
Yeah.
No.
He walked the walk.
Listen to me, man. The first project, we had 10 songs. This is not an album. This is a mixtape. The brother shot 8 videos.
Sheesh.
This is a new artist. The second project, we had 12 songs. The man shot 7 videos. This is a mixtape.
The content sells, all right.
It sells, but you're taking a risk on
Because
spending
he
all this
still
money.
have to believe in
You
her.
still got to believe.
Okay.
That's a lot of video. Bro,
Right.
most artists might get 2 videos on their first project. The man shot 8 of 10. Come on, bro.
Wow.
Like, that to me, that he ain't got to tell me nothing else about believing. He's showing it to me.
Yeah.
Like, so to me, when you're working with people like this, and this is rare,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen him, he didn't just do it with who, he did it with every artist that he signed. If the artist don't blow up or work on his label, it's not because he not giving his all.
Yeah.
I'll say it like that.
Right.
That brother, him and Coach, they gonna go ham, and they gonna have a team around every single artist that's going just as hard for that artist as he was. Because if he believe it, the team he got working with him believe it as well. So when you're doing business with people like that, mind you, I would sign to that label right now because I know what I'm gonna get when I get in the door.
Coach from Indianapolis, isn't he?
Yeah, he from that.
Yeah.
So they literally go hard. When we would show, like when we would shoot videos, people would the label in general would just show up. Like I remember we were shooting a video with City Girls, like a female goat. Little baby, this homeboy just popped up, just kicking it. Like on what's up, y'all? Just showing up. It's out the blue. Like imagine she fresh on the label at this point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like when you're dealing with a label like that and you're dealing with the heads of the label, everybody gonna follow what the heads of the label do.
Yeah.
The heads of the label is assholes to everybody else, but they just the coolest, like down earth brothers ever. And then it literally is family. Like that's literally how it is over there.
Yeah, they call that the law of the lid. John Maxwell in his book 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and then they talk about you can only rise as high as your leader is, and the fact that how you talk about Coach and his team and how integrous they were committed, they were driven, they were ambitious, they were determined, but they believed and they forecasted their vision. Yep. So it was almost impossible for everybody else on their team to lose because their vision or their postulates was so high.
Yes,
you're not gonna want to be around that. Exactly. And I often tell people, if somebody has a problem with me, it's because they're a non-producer. Because I'm gonna push you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I get when you talk about, quality.
It sets a see, I felt that way too, because that's how I was as a star athlete.
Right.
So, okay, I'm not asking you to give me a home run, but dog, if he not throwing those strikes, at least get on first base.
Something, man, something.
That's all I'm asking, bro.
Right.
Or when the ball, if you having a bad day on offense, play some defense.
Yeah.
They hit you the ball, catch it. That's all I'm asking to make the play. So to me, that's my mindset. So when it's time to perform on any other arena, I feel the same way. So they're not gonna be working hard and I'm asleep. They could call my phone used to be under my pillow on vibrate, so it'll wake me up if anybody calls. So we can answer the phone.
I will say this: I don't care how busy Chad is. If I call him, he always answers.
Man,
I'm like, you in a session?
I'm like, yeah, but what's the word? I ain't really want to. Okay, I'm gonna hit you back. But to me, your best ability is your availability.
1,000%.
How you gonna get something done if you ain't available?
Yeah. But you can't get that to everybody though, Chad.
No, that's a fact. But you understand that.
100%.
My thing is opportunities be right there in front of people's faces, but they're not even available for the opportunities. Like, but then you complaining you don't have opportunities.
No, real talk.
Make yourself available for the
people
opportunity.
Too cool, man.
Yeah, bro.
They too cool.
To me, that's what it's about, man. And to me, as artists, if you got a manager and they not available, it take them a week to respond to an email. Bro, the people who email me, I respond back. They could have thought it was instant messenger. How fast I responded back. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. We can do it for this number. Let's go.
Yeah.
Send the deposit here. I already got my because see, I was the kind of person I had responses already ready.
Right.
Depending on what was asked, I had to just copy and paste it and send it.
in.
I had it already online.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's me forward thinking. We're not missing no money.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a festival, a college, a walk through at a club. We taking all checks.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is called performing at a high level.
Yes.
You have to operate at a high frequency if you want to attract what it is that you want. You can't just be sitting back and thinking, oh, I deserve this because of who or this or that. No, you got to go get that.
Got to go get it.
You have to, man. And sometimes it may take you 10 times performing whatever it is that action is before you actually can, you know, get
Absolutely.
what it is that you've been looking to attain.
Even
man.
like this, Will,
Planting
like, I
those
want to
seeds.
shoot a podcast.
Yeah.
What I say, bro, we're not doing the via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
He did
I
say
literally
that.
hop on a plane this morning,
said-
come to shoot it. I'm literally
he
leaving.
He
did
said
say
what
that.
day? 2 weeks ago, and he
Yeah.
showed up 2 weeks
Popped
later.
up. Did I actually play for anything for me? I said I'll be there, right?
Yep.
That's it.
You said hit me up anytime.
Well,
man.
let me know. Kurt hit me. I said, what's the dates? We coming. We there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's about being, because I don't know who's going to see this.
Right.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
know who y'all touching that I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody might see this and get something out of this, and then boom, it might be something. You
That's
know
what we do it
so
for.
to
To
me, that's what we do it for. Like
Yeah.
I want to be present in all situations. And another thing, when it comes back to the artists and the labels, artists make sure you understand what your contract is telling you that you're agreeing with,
That's
because
what I
you
was
may
gonna
think
hit that. Yeah.
you may think you got a 2-album deal or 3-album deal or 3-project deal, whatever it may say, but realistically, you're not guaranteed those albums. You may
Mhm.
see all these numbers, $1 million here, $2 million there. Those you don't hit those marks until the album is released.
Mhm.
So you can sign a deal for $2 million, but then you got the second album is $4 million. The third album, if successful, is $6 million. But if you never make it past the first album, you only getting that one check.
So they get blinded by the numbers then.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you hear them. Everybody here, they're gonna tell you the numbers, but then that's when your chief decision officer breaks down what those numbers are. Well, this $4 million only come after you put out your
Yeah.
first album.
Yeah.
If you never put out your first album, you never get this $4 million.
Mhm.
So now you got to go ham because you in the hole to put out that $4 million. Meaning they're not gonna put out the album unless you're in the black where you're not owing.
Right.
So a lot of these artists are in the hole
Oh, for a
for
show.
years.
So
For sure.
question, Chad, is there because I've heard T-Pain talk about this, that it takes a certain dollar amount to actually break a hit record.
That's true.
And I forgot who it was. I think it may have been Sexy Red's first record. They said they worked that record almost 2 years
I believe it.
before it blew up.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Every now and then you get lightning in a bottle. You get like a Glorilla FNF.
Right.
Mhm.
That was just literally her. They didn't spend nothing. Like it was literally
She
one of
wasn't
those.
on the label though at the
No,
time,
no.
right?
It was her hit kid and her
Oh, wow.
homegirls.
Oh.
They shot the video, they recorded it, they mixed it, they did everything on their own. If you go look at it, you can tell they did everything they saw. But the lightning in the bottle happened. So now they throwing she named her price. If she had a good management at the time, she would have structured a deal where it was more of a partner than signing,
Yeah.
where she participated in.
Because she had all the power at first.
Oh, well, she has more than all the power. She had every label wanting her.
Mm.
That's anything. Y'all know this.
So
I
they
gotta
threw
tell
the
y'all.
money at her and she just signed on the dotted line.
I don't know what she did. What I'm saying
Probably.
is, hopefully, she had great management,
Yeah.
and they were able to leverage what they built.
Mm.
See, leverage is everything. Y'all
Yeah,
know that.
facts,
I ain't got to tell y'all that,
for
but I'm
sure.
talking to people out there. Leverage is it. When you got leverage, you can name your price on how you want to do it. And to
Mm.
me, when you have leverage, it's like the cheat code
Mhm.
when it comes to negotiation. If you have a good manager and a good attorney who know what it is they looking for, and you're not gonna know much. She probably didn't know because
Right.
she just
Yeah,
having
she
fun.
knew. Right.
But if her team knew what they were doing, they set her up for success for 20
Let me
years.
ask a small case study. So she had all the juice with that song. So say if she went out and said work with somebody like us and got her own capital, what would have been the foreshadowing of that going forward?
So having the capital is one thing. Having to know where the capital to be placed is another thing.
okay, so let's talk.
Yeah.
Put both of those in that scenario.
So if she had her own capital to do what her song, because her song was capital enough to get her in places that
Okay.
it couldn't.
Yeah.
So now that you actually have the revenue, you got to know where to spend it when it comes to the DSPs, like the Apple, Spotify's, and that thing to get playlisted. You got to also know where to how to structure yourself on social media. Have a social media team behind you,
Yeah.
pushing it as well.
Right.
Which is what Gotti's and them team that she ended up doing a deal with. They had that in place. So basically, you'd have to get that type of thing in place for yourself, and just pay the people out of your pocket, which is what it would have been no problem because you're gonna have plenty of money coming in. Because now you can hop on the road off with that record.
Yeah.
I wouldn't start. My first event would have been 50. So you think about as much how does she was?
Yeah.
She running 3-4 times a week. That's 200 every
200
week.
every week
Exactly.
And she ran for a year.
off that
So you
record.
the math is mathing at that point. So you could do everything you want to do with that type
Yeah.
of money. So to me, that's the goal, is to make sure you're putting the money in the right places. Getting the money to come in is easy at that point because you got something what everybody want.
Wow.
So now we starting at 50. We might have just started at 50, but 2 months we had 150. They paying it, bro.
So for an artist who's not in that position, what's a number you think it takes, or as we call it, what's the all in for them to start gaining that traction from marketing, advertising, travel?
I would say half a ticket.
Half a ticket.
Yeah, because what that does is that gives you a longer runway. You don't want to cut short. I would rather. My saying is I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
For sure.
So I would say
credit. It's like credit. Like
I would rather. I ain't turning nothing, bro. I was telling. I bought a semi the other day because American Express offered me a line of credit. I was like, y'all finna give me this? I ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm gonna take it.
Right. Put it to work.
My partner wanted to drive trucks, but I said, man, if we own and operate the truck, I said, what can we grab one for? Like, I see one right here for $18,500. I mean, no, I seen one here for $24,000. I said, tell him I'll give him $18,000. Dude said, give me $18,500. I said, man, here, I'm finna wire you the money right now. I just pulled that little money they gave me. We made half of it back within the first 6 weeks of the truck running. So to me,
but you partner with somebody that know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I ain't driving.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Let me tell you something.
I only seen the truck on FaceTime. I never seen it in person.
Hey, that's how I am with my house.
I seen the deposits though. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So, hey, listen.
But partnering up, y'all splitting
partnering up, man.
A lot of people have their egos in the way. They don't want to partner up.
It was so sweet. I ain't even split the revenue because you putting your life on the line. I'm at the crib
for sure.
We're gonna do a better deal to make sure you feel secure because I don't want you jumping me because I ain't gonna get in the truck. I'm gonna have to sell it. So I'm gonna make sure you eat real. I'm gonna make sure you really good and fat on the eating tip. So I ain't do the split thing. I was fair. All I said is give me this back. Make sure I'm getting this a month minimum. And if you run, you go crazy. That's all you. Yeah. You go eat because you putting your life on the line. I ain't on the road. So I'm that kind of. Man, I just want to be
But
fair.
it makes sense.
Yeah,
it's good business.
Yeah. So
they're putting the sweat in.
Anybody out there, you trying to get in the trucks, you want to buy one and you want to eat good.
Come holler at your boy.
See no trucks. See no logistics. We in the building. You know what I'm saying? I'm just my thing is it's revenue.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that to me, you make money when you're moving around, but you get wealthy when you're asleep.
1,000%.
So to me, that's what it's about.
Yeah. And I want to touch on something before we wrap up. When you talked about the all in for an artist is about a half a ticket or $500,000 for people who don't know what that means. And this is what I tell most entrepreneurs and people who are new to business. If you don't have money, your business is going to fail.
Absolutely.
It's like, because people confuse marketing with branding, with advertising. You can go and get on 4 people's podcasts. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get business from it.
Thanks.
What that does is that brands people so they know who you are.
Right.
You still have to actually go and pay to acquire customers, which means you may have to go and pay for YouTube ads or Facebook ads or Instagram, pay to speak at like you have to be able to do all of those things in order for people to actually know you, for them to like you, for them to trust you, for them to understand your product, for you to do for you to educate the people how the product works. And so you have to have enough money for that to work. And that's why I tell people, if you learn how to leverage credit the right way, you increase your odds of success.
Facts.
Whether it's in business, whether it's in music, whether it's in trucking or whatever the case may be, man. So what would be some like last advice you would give people to kind of tie all of that in together from, just from your experience in business, from the nonprofit to working with different industries and credit? Like what would you sum up to the people with all of that information in your experience?
Well, I'll say couple things. You're only as good as your last decision because a bad decision can take you several steps back financially. And so you're starting further back than you were. I don't care how much money you got. If you're not thinking about a strategic plan prior to spending the money, you're basically wasting your money.
Right.
So you got to make sure everything is strategically planned so that everything that you do makes sense.
Right.
I don't care how much you can have 10 million or 100,000. If you know what you're doing with 100,000, it can seem like at least $1 million.
Real talk.
So to me, you got to make sure, and then you have to leverage relationships. Everything you do, you should be trying to build a relationship. And when you're doing it with someone, whether it's a cameraman, a videographer, a sound person, make sure you leverage in relationships and you're treating people and paying people what they're worth, because what they do is they'll continue to do things. They'll go above and beyond for you if you're giving them what they're worth. When I do business with somebody, I don't negotiate what your fee is.
Mhm.
If I believe whatever your fee was at the time, I never tried to.
Right.
What can I do for 2 people? Here's your fee for 2 people. Let's do this work.
Mhm.
To me, if you pay people what they ask for, 9 times out of 10,
They're gonna come back and
do
show
it.
you love.
they're gonna show you love anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then even more than that, you're gonna build a relationship with them.
For sure.
And to me, that's way more important than money.
That's what my father said.
Relationships.
Before he passed away, he was like, relationships is the key thing on earth.
Relationships will take you places money will never get you.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Get you indoors, bro.
Mhm.
And then next thing you know, because you're in that door, now the money, real money there. You think because these cats got a couple $1 million, you in the room, these cats got 200-300, a billy.
Mhm.
But the relationship got you in the door. It wasn't money. You couldn't have paid to get in that door.
For sure.
It had to be the relationship.
Yes.
So that's extremely important. So honor and value relationships, no matter how big or small. I'm still cool with the DJs we worked with.
Mm.
So if I'm in a city and I need something, I can call the DJs. All the promoters that I work with Lakia, I'm still cool with all of them.
Mhm.
So if I ever do the artist thing again, I can know who to call. So all that stuff is important. I still reach out to people just random, even though I don't do that type of stuff no more where I run around. In case somebody need it, I got people I can connect with. So to me, relationships is just as important. So much so, I would fly if we was in Vegas, I would fly in Vegas early, go eat breakfast with the promoter before they don't get into later on.
That's true.
And I sit and chop it up and pay for the meal and say, man, this is on behalf of her. Thank you for having us.
Right.
Just to build a relationship. I did that in every single city we went to, except when we went out the country because I couldn't get there early. We had to travel as a unit. But if we were in the country, I was there hours and hours before they even got there. I was on the first flight there before they even thought about getting there. So to me, the relationships are key. And then another thing, the final thing I'll say is, if you say you're going to do something, do it. Because the hardest thing for people to do is what they say. And that's in any business.
Literally.
If C-No say he gonna do something, C-No died on the way there. That's why he ain't there. Or something happened to his family. No, I'm that's serious.
I get it.
Literally, that's the only reason why he didn't show up. Something dramatic happened where he didn't make it. It wasn't because he just didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
So if you say you do something, gonna do something, do it. People rock with me. Yeah, I'm talented. Yeah, I'm good at what I do. But if I tell them I'm gonna do something, I came and I did it. I said I was gonna be here. I'm here, bro.
No, real
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
key. That in relationships are the biggest two.
I agree.
If you say you're gonna do it, and make sure if you're gonna deliver something, deliver the highest quality product, whatever it is you're doing.
I love it.
The reason why Will and Will are successful at what you guys do, and I've tracked Will and I watched Will over the years before we worked. It was because it was one thing. Will I snuck into one of his things online. And this is prior to us doing an event, and I paid for a class under a different name.
This is new to me. I didn't hear this.
He don't know this. So this is how you know it's legit. I paid for a class of his under a different name, and it was like when you had like it was a bunch of people on Zoom, so you can't tell. So you can put whatever picture you want up.
For sure.
So I'm not gonna put me. I log in make a fake address. I paid it's like $150, whatever, and he was talking about. Doing a real estate deal, and it was in the Midwest, and somebody that was in that town wanted to do a deal with Will, and they wanted to give Will some money to do the deal. Will said, let me say this way, I want everybody's attention. If you all here, hit this button so I know you, or type this in the chat so everybody paying attention to me. I don't take anybody's money when it comes to do deals. That's not how I operate my business. Yeah. He said, because it's a murky water. Yeah, I'm an honest guy. Yeah. I'm going to make sure. He said, but I don't want your money. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to educate you. You paying me right now. I got your money to educate you. But if you think you're going to give me some money for a deal, this is the wrong class. And if you that's what you thought, before I go any further, please put your email and we will refund you and you can leave. Nobody left. But what he said was, I'm not here to collect y'all money to try to do deals. I don't work like that. Yeah. Because we seen what happened in New York over there. We ain't gonna say no names, but we seen what happened.
We should.
But what he said,
we get blackballed because of that stuff.
Yeah, but to me that showed integrity though. Yeah. Because most people be trying to get your money, you know what? But dude literally nipped it in the bud right then and there. I was like, man, he official, because the average person in his position, because of his cachet, could actually get the money, even though he would probably he ain't gonna just take that little money.
Him, no.
Yeah,
it don't benefit.
It don't. But people who own it for the wrong reason, it benefit them because they really not having it like he having it. So it's a big difference. Yeah. So that to me showed me how real he was. Yeah. And he never even knew I was in there. But I literally remember that happening.
This first time I heard this story.
I remember that. I was like, oh no, he official, because everybody else be trying to take that little I think dude was like 15K. It wasn't even like a lot of money, but if you out here trying to hit a lick, that's a good lick for an hour or 2 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so to me, that showed me.
I know financial advisors used to do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
They get the athletes money. Yeah. They be susceptible for a loss, and then they end up getting a loss. Like, well, I mean, it was susceptible for a loss.
Exactly.
So they scared off on them, but really they just put that money in their bank account. And they send them. They know how to send invoices and sheets to basically say that this is what these returns you're getting. And then all of a sudden it falls off 3 years later. Yeah, they just pocketed the money.
They was just exactly. So to me, that's that character. That's extremely important. So that's why, bro. Those are the things. Those are the quote unquote gems that I have for you. And also, no matter what it is you're doing, no matter what it is you want to do, if God gave it to you in your mind, or Allah, or whoever you believe, whatever you believe, I believe in God. That's just me. But whatever you believe in, if that higher power gave it to you, they gave it to you for a purpose. And no higher power, in my case, God doesn't give me something in my mind that I can't literally go out here and do. I don't dream when I'm asleep. I dream when I wake. When I wake up, I'm walking. This is a dream right now.
Amen.
I hopped on the flight, came to kick it with my partner. We're going to go eat some food. I'm going to get on the flight, go back to the family. You know what I'm saying? This is living life. I don't have nobody. We don't have anybody to answer to. We live life how we want. You know what I'm saying? Will hit me, yo, bro, I'm going to be in New York. You want to come through? We can go see Dave Chappelle. Man, I'm already booked for this. You know what I'm saying?
I remember that.
Like, man, if you want to slide, you can slide. I'm like, bro, I'm already locked in.
Had a ticket for him and everything.
I'm like, bro, give somebody. Go ahead and give somebody else because I can't make it because I'm already booked for this.
Right.
But if I didn't, I was on the flight, bro. All I need is a hotel, a ticket in a hotel. I'm on the way. Yeah. So like little stuff like that. But that's because, and this was like a Wednesday or Tuesday. Yeah. I didn't say I can't. I gotta go to work in the morning. No, I can't because I'm already obligated to do this. Anyway, I was doing my event the same day he was. What's the name? If it wasn't my event, I was gone. but that's because we literally live our dreams. We don't. We dream when we sleep, but we literally live in them. And to me, it's not just us. It's not just all of us that's in this room. It's everybody that's out there. It could be done, man. We from the hood of Milwaukee. Me, DC over there. Yeah. We are from the hood, from the city. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's nothing to scoff at in that city, bro. You're like, it's really, it could be really devastating if you're not looking for a way to elevate yourself. So to me, I just feel like all of us brothers around, even where you from, like all of us, man, being here is a testament to what willpower is, what drive is, what consistency is. Like, to me, all of those things together, and what us as men doing what we're going to say we're going to do over the years. That's why we sitting here together right now. Because all men, all of us, if it's something we say we can do, we'll do it. If we can't, we'll say we can't do it.
Can't do it, man.
Like Kurt hit me when we was talking about something. He's like, man, they ain't going to be able to do that. Don't worry about it. We in the house. It wasn't nothing he did. It was what somebody told him they was going to do. Then all of a sudden they changed. That ain't your fault, bro. You already said it in advance. Only way it's going to work is if they, if it changed, they changed it, not you. And to me, that's why we all sitting here together, bro. Is because we are consistent, we are persistent, and we are men of our word. And to me, success, this is what success look like. If y'all want to know what success look like, it's a bald head dude with a beard. It's a brother with a fresh, clean cut with a beard. It's a light-skinned brother with a cut, with a fresh fade.
It's always the light-skinned ones.
Always the light-skinned ones.
They down right now, though. They down right now, though.
Time out. We not down right now, man. We about even.
But
we still got Chris Brown out here, brother.
Yeah, he doing his thing.
I forgot. Okay.
For the record, ain't neither one of them losing. You want to know why? They both filthy rich. They got more money than
rich. Ain't nobody.
I don't hate on nobody. I'll give them all they love.
For the record, ain't no real
love. So neither one of them lose.
I wish I had a problem where somebody was shooting at my gates. That's
of my compound.
Of my compound, right? 500,000 feet away from my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, good luck making it to
and
the
door. Helicopter want to keep riding around my joint.
Yeah. So ain't nobody losing.
Right.
No.
But at the
that's
end
for
of
the fans, man. That's all it was for the fans.
But at the end of the day, this is what success look like, man. If we could do it, y'all definitely could do it.
Amen.
Y'all definitely could do it.
No, well, we appreciate you coming on C-Note, man. How can people follow you, keep up with everything going on? And I'm pretty sure somebody gonna try to slip you a mixtape after this.
Hey, man.
I might drop my demo on.
Man, you can hit me up at Chad C-Note Roper everywhere, man. Chad C-Note Roper. ChadCnoteRoper everywhere. And be able to look out for my son. He's an entrepreneur. He's 2.5. He got his own company. It's called Deuces World TV.
Hey, man.
Y'all go follow him.
Y'all follow Deuces.
Go follow him.
Deuces World TV on YouTube. Deuces World TV 1 on YouTube, and Deuces World TV everywhere else, man. So y'all go follow Young Deuce. the 2.5-year-old CEO.
Hey, he living a life too, man.
Yeah.
I got to say.
Deuce Parker. I can't go in my theater without him taking over. What's the Gracie's Corner and all that. I'm talking about the game.
Definitely. How can they follow you, Curtis?
You can find me on all social media, Mr. C. Blair as well, man. You can find me on Facebook at Kurt Blair. Anything else like that, baby low. But also make sure y'all check out the REI 90, check out Weed Management, get your life insurance together, and make sure that you're being financially responsible, baby. Don't be out here trying to front for all these people, man, because it don't mean nothing on the social media platforms.
Definitely. Because it's gonna take you a half a ticket to get in the game.
Man, let's go.
For real.
We gotta have a ticket for you though if you need it.
Easy. And y'all already know Mr. Will Roundtree across all social media platforms. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, not just to me, but to both of my brothers. And as you know, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Full-Time CEO Podcast, where we interview entrepreneurs, businessmen, businesswomen, moguls, athletes, entertainers, and Grammy Award-winning engineers, producers, businessmen, trucking, logistics, real estate, father,
that's the key
husband,
right there. Yes, it.
God-fearing.
and a good friend.
Amen.
So make sure y'all stay tuned in, and more importantly, y'all already know the drill. I'll see y'all at the top. Let's go.